Ladies and gentlemen, boys and girls, cats and dogs, welcome to Drippin. First off, I'd like to apologise for my absence. It's been about, 4 months? And I have been going through a literal hell. I won't get into that, but rest assured that I don't think it can happen again. And if it does, I'm just going to have to pull my finger out and carry on seeing you all. So, with that being said, I'd like to inform you about a new structure to the podcast that I'm going to be doing. So I'm going to break the podcast into 3 categories, well, somewhat 4. The first category is going to be question time. The next one's going to be reactions. Then it's going to be lessons. There's the group podcast that we're going to do as well. So that would probably be either on a connected account or a different account. But when that one actually starts operating, I'll happily give you the links and all the information about that. So what's question time? Question time is any questions that you have for me for tactics, advice about relationships and society in the world. Ask me about relationships, working out, strategies, anything. I'm answering this from a standpoint of a knowledgeable man who's walked the earth and acquired qualifications and experiences along the way. So you can email me on drippin@solifugemedia.com and ask me your questions. Don't worry, I'll put the email on the screen and in the bio as well. So when you email me and ask me questions, I'd like you to give me as much detail as possible. That way I can be more detailed in my response and give you the best answer and or advice that you're looking for. Now, Drippin obviously is predominantly a male betterment podcast, but I welcome and also encourage women to ask questions if you're interested in a man's perspective. Why does a man do this? What does it mean if a man does that? What do men expect from a relationship? This way, you can get the information right from the source instead of some secondhand, presumptuous opinions. Reactions. Reactions are going to be my unique reactions as to what's going on in the world. It could be breaking news, it could be dating, it could be podcasts, conspiracies, TikToks, and shining a light on any behaviours and trends. Lessons. Now, this will be a breakdown of statistics and their ramifications on society. Things to look out for, how to navigate certain situations, reasons why a thing is the way that it is, and some good, clean, wholesome knowledge. And rest assured, I'll arrange all the above podcasts into playlists so they're easily referenced and viewable. So, with that being said, let's get ahead with today's podcast. And today is question time. So let's jump right in. Okay, so first question, let's see. I've just plugged into your podcast and saw that you answer questions. My question is, I've been dating a girl for 3 months. She's nice and we like being together, but I found out that she's on Onlyfans. She doesn't like to talk about it and won't give any information. She said it brings her a lot of money and she can't find suitable work. But she did say that if we become serious that she would stop it instantly. Should I date this girl? Okay, so straight off the bat, I'm gonna say no. No. And here's my reasons. You see, in this day and age, women don't seem to take accountability. They seem to be able to make a lot of mistakes and it's everybody else's fault and you can attribute the blame to everybody else. So I think accountability is a very, very, very good way of allowing people to get better, to learn from their mistakes and move on. If you make mistakes and you don't learn from them, you're destined to repeat the same thing over and over again. You're not going to become a more knowledgeable creature. So women need to take accountability, whether that comes in a good way or a bad way. You refusing to go out with this girl is forcing her to take accountability for her actions. So let me tell you how this works in a man's world. In a man's world, a man's status is reflected by how much respect that he can garner off his peers. So, for example, if you have a businessman is in his position because he's made so many correct choices along the way, and that's why he's successful in business. He wouldn't be successful in a business if he kept making bad choices, would he? So when you see a man who's got respect, he's probably that way because he has made consistently good choices, so a person respects him. Now, in the man's world, unfortunately, a respect a man has is quite attached also to his relationship as well. A man's not going to respect another man if he can't control his relationship, so to speak. So I'll give you an example of that. Let's say if you're out on a works night out and you head the office, you're the manager of an office, and everybody comes to you at work and they respect you, and you're on a works night out and you go out with this girl who's on OnlyFans. On first impressions, you walk in the building and people are going to look at your partner, woman, girlfriend, wife, and say, wow, she's really attractive. And they're going to have a certain degree of respect for you. Then what happens when one of the guy goes, I know her, she's on OnlyFans. She's on OnlyFans. Then he'll go on his phone and he'll go around and try and find pictures. Next thing you know, he's sharing pictures of your wife, partner, girlfriend, whatever you want to call her, with all the rest of the guys. This instantly loses respect for you. Nobody is going to respect you in that way because they're going to be thinking, if you can't control this relationship at home, then I don't have any respect for him controlling the work environment where I work. Now, the other part to your email, I noticed that she said that she doesn't talk about what she does on OnlyFans. Okay, so all of us know that OnlyFans isn't strictly a platform for sexual exploits and degenerate behaviour. We know quite well that you can go on OnlyFans and you can choose to cook, make cakes, make omelettes, do whatever you want to do, handyman stuff, how to, but nobody generally uses OnlyFans for that. We use more YouTube for things like that, which is why OnlyFans seems to be synonymous with some kind of sexual lewd exploitations on the internet, some kind of degeneracy. So there are different degrees of sexual degeneracy. You can have a girl that goes on OnlyFans and she does bikini pictures. We see this every day on Victorian models going down the catwalk, modelling the latest line of swimwear. Then you have the other end of the spectrum where a woman's engaging in completely debilitating, degenerate activities such as groups. I won't go into it, but you catch my drift. So there are two different scales here. There's the minimal amount and there's the major account. The fact that she doesn't tell you what she's doing makes me kind of think that she's at the worst end of that spectrum. For example, if she was on there and she was cooking, she would simply say to you, I'm just cooking. If she was on there taking just stills, even in sexual positions of swimwear, then she's not really doing what you wouldn't see in the regular catalogue or on a catwalk on TV. But the fact that she doesn't tell you what she's doing makes me believe that she's probably in the harder end of that spectrum. Now, there's one thing that I might say in her defence, is that she does, when she says that she earns a lot of money going through this, I can get that. But there's a lot of propaganda out there that's pushing women into going into universities, promising them all kinds of jobs when they go out. They go and do something like leisure and tourism, and they're promised that they will be able to walk out of there and get like a £40,000 a year job to begin with. And in 3 years, you could be earning up to 17, 80, blah, blah, blah. The amount of people on the internet, the amount of articles that you can read, the amount of Reddit stories that tell you of women who have gone into such education establishments promised with the golden ticket that have came out and now they're baristas and working in some stocking shelf occupation. I mean, it is still a thing that employers will hire a person simply because they have a degree. It might not be in a related field, but it tells us, an employer, that that person is able to commit themselves, that person has longevity, and that person has some form of character. For example, a person who majored in history could get a job as admin or a secretary in a GP practice. Why? Because they've demonstrated that they have longevity, they've demonstrated that they've got staying power, and they're able to learn. So to completely disregard all of this and turn straight to sex work, that tells me that you're affected by the propaganda. And a quick Google search will tell you what most OnlyFans girls make. And that figure, frighteningly so, is £180 a month. Now tell me, is that better than going to work as an administrator, as a secretary? Hell, even a barista earns more than £180 to £280 a month. So, in my opinion, there are two options here. Option one, she's not one of the minimalist creators who are getting 180, 200 pounds a month, whatever it may be. She's one of the top ones. So if she is one of the top ones, then my friend, old habits die hard. I'll come to that in a moment. If she's not one of the top ones and she earns 180 to 280 pounds, she could easily get 3, 4, 5, 6 times that amount by having just a normal, generic, what society would call a menial job. She could earn a lot more doing that, which leads me to believe that she's lazy. So let's go ahead with the first pretense. Old habits die hard. Now, what I mean by that is human beings are creatures of habit. What I mean by that is if we do something and it yields positive results, we do it again. We go hunting in a certain area and it yields hella kills, we'll go back to that area and do it again because we got results the first time. So with that being said, if a woman or a person does Onlyfans and they get a lot of money, they walk away from that. And times get hard. They're not getting the amount of money that they want. They're not earning the amount of money that they want. And they're not able to do the things that they used to be able to do. As creatures of habit, what are they going to do? They're going to go back and do what it was that they did last time, which enabled them to have the lifestyle that they so desire. And the final thing I'll say about this is that if you allow it, it'll only get worse. She will not respect you. What she'll respect is a person who erects their boundaries and sticks by them. A person that doesn't want to share his woman in any capacity with another man. I haven't known of one relationship actually that has been polygamous and has worked. And when I say polygamy, you might say, oh no, well, she hasn't got another boyfriend, it's just me doing that. Yes, she does. If she's sharing her most intimate parts with any man on the internet for $5.99 a month, then she's seeing other people. That's just the way it is. So I hope you listen to that and obviously evaluate everything that I've said and you make your own decision. Okay, question 2. Hello, Drippin. I met a woman in a bar and we seemed to get on very well. I made her laugh. And it was not hard. We effortlessly got on with each other. We even had similar interests. Every now and again, we would make these pauses where we would just look at each other. It's not like I'm an expert in these matters, but I swear I could see that she really liked me. I even adhered to her preferences in men. We went back to my flat. It's nice and I have a cleaning that comes once a week. It's modern and has lots of space and all the modern amenities. So I know it was not the flat. We had sex. It lasted for a good 40 minutes. P.S. I googled how long the average sex is and it ranged between 7 minutes and an hour. I was very sensual. She liked it a lot. She was very excited and responded really well. And I think that she even came. When it was all over, we lay down. She previously said that she would spend the night, but I could feel that she was uncomfortable. She'd been mostly silent. She asked for an Uber and got dressed. I think she was trying to be polite, overacted gestures and faint smiles. I told her to text me when she got home and she agreed and left. She didn't text. I texted her about an hour and got no reply. The next day in the morning, I texted and said I enjoyed the night and would like to see her again. And if she got home okay, no response. I haven't and will not text again because I do not want to be a stalker or creepy. I thought about this over and over again. I played the night back in my head and I'm certain she was happy and I didn't do anything wrong. What did I do wrong? What happened? Thank you, Drippin. Okay, I'm getting married woman vibes off this one. Have you considered the fact that the woman might be married or in a relationship and you didn't actually do anything wrong? See, when I read this message, it seems to be that this woman's exhibiting all the signs of hooking up, a bit of rough. You said that you ticked their boxes physically and that you even made her laugh. And I'm also getting from your message that the way that she behaved, that she kind of like had an itch to scratch. That she's not quite got the animalistic, intense sexual feelings from her current partner that she may have with you. There's also the sudden change after sex, assuming that you're correct and that everything went well and you didn't do anything wrong and she actually was happy or satisfied by the encounter. See, if that is correct, it suggests to me what looks like guilt, or we could put it another way and say fear, as in she's just realised the possible ramifications of cheating and being found out by a partner and what she could lose. You see, a lot of women out there have got impulse control problems and they're heavily emotionally led. Did she have loads of tattoos by any chance? That's why, whether right or wrong, some men are not happy about their girlfriends or wives going out on nights out without them. Now, I can see by the way that you've written the email that you've thought about this a lot. And I can tell to the point of your reoccurring thoughts again and again. You need to stop that. Stop giving it real estate in your mind. Stop thinking about it. You haven't done anything wrong whatsoever. And as you said that you're not an expert, no offense, it shows. And this is not a bad thing. To me, it really sounds like you're a really nice guy who just wants a nice, decent, respectful relationship. But you must understand something. Modern dating is a hellscape. Most women don't behave like they did decades ago. With feminine empowerment and equality, the modern women are subject to propaganda that pushes and rewards promiscuity. And unfortunately, the mind of most modern women is infinitely susceptible to propaganda. I've covered the stats about propaganda and its effects on society in another podcast. But you have to realise, my friend, that you've been lied to. Do you remember that nursery rhyme that we learned when we were in school? What a little boy's made of? Snips and snails and puppy dogs' tails, and little girls are made of sugar and spice and all things nice. Sorry, wrong. There are a massive amount of women out there that are made of such, but there are a hella amount of women out there that are not like that. So you need to take that whole mindset that you've got and throw it away. Open your eyes and watch what's actually going on in society today. And my guy, what you experienced is modern day hookup culture. Married or not, you need to put this experience behind you. Learn from it. Know what's out there. Stop thinking about it. You really need to stop thinking about it. It's not going to be advantageous to your mental health whatsoever. Do what men do. We roll with the punches. Last thing I'll say on this topic, or piece of advice: if you're looking for a good relationship, the probability lessens if she's willing to sleep with you immediately. No decent woman will sleep with you the first night. I understand that it's not a monolith and situations can happen where emotions are so high and the connection so strong that this happens. I'm not talking about those. Those are outliers. Those are exceptions to the general rule. I'm talking generally. Generally, if a woman wants to sleep with you on the first date, it's not going to be a lasting relationship because she's probably done this with other individuals. But what you could do, my friend, is keep tuned in, subscribe, comment, and like, and I will shine a light on the true nature of women and give you a guide as to navigate this hellscape of dating and to be able to recognise a good woman when you see one. Okay, time is getting on, so I'm going to do one more question. Question 3. All guys I meet just want sex. How do I filter the good ones? Okay, thank you very much for your question. But going forward, can I ask, if you want to ask a question, please give me as much detail and as much information as you can. Maybe even who you are, male or female, your age, so I can kind of tailor my response according to your demographic. Again, thank you very much for the question, and I'll do my best to answer what this one is asking. The human being is an imperfect creature. So there are good and bad. Nothing is perfect. There are no perfect men. There are no perfect women. But a lot of these imperfect men go through their lives with the philosophy of every hole is a goal. Now, unfortunately, this gives rise to an unrealistic expectation in partner selection when it comes to dating for women. What I mean by that is each and every one of us has the ability to discern a beautiful face to a not so beautiful face. Naomi Campbell in her prime, beautiful. Quasimodo, not so beautiful. Somewhere in between, average. So if you put this on a scale of 0 to 10, 10 being Naomi Campbell and 0 being Quasimodo, 5 is going to be average. So If you get an average or sub-average woman that takes great pictures, puts some great makeup on, gets herself on a dating app or Instagram, and as she's browsing through, she sees a picture of a guy who's quite nice, got really nice clothes, great body, a good circle of friends. Oh my God, that's a really lovely car that he's got. And he seems like he's doing quite well for himself. She might approach this guy and say, "Hi, how's it going?" The guy, should he be one of the subset that follow the philosophy of every hole's a goal, will look at this woman and think, okay, the woman that just came on to me, she looks okay, all right, like nothing to write home about. But you know what? I'm going to indulge this because it's kind of boring at the moment, ain't nothing happening, it's the weekend and every hole's a goal, right? So he'll go out and he'll go on a date with this person, he'll spend a little bit of money and he'll bed this person, and after the encounter, he'll disappear into the night, ghost her and never be heard of again. Now, the effect of this on a woman is, where are all the nice men gone? And number two, an unrealistic expectation in partner selection. You see, this woman has been approaching men who are 8s, 9s and 10s, who are quite successful, good circle of friends, got money, and have got a good status. Now, because the guy has slept with her, the woman confuses herself and deludes herself into thinking, this is the kind of man that I deserve, this is the kind of man that I can get, this is the kind of man that I attain. Well, she's half right. She does have the ability to attain such a man, but she does not have the ability to retain that man, because that guy is an 8, 9, 10, 7. He doesn't want to go out and retain a woman who's a 3 or a 4, because men are very visual creatures and physical beauty means a hell of a lot to us. But what he's done is he's added more filth into the delusional pool that a woman now thinks that she is able to retain 7s, 8s, 9s and 10s. So back to the question, all men want sex, and how do I filter the good ones? It's quite easy. You see, it's always been men are trying to get you to sleep with them on the first night, and women have to keep it. Let's go back to basics here. I'm not saying it's not going to be successful if you do sleep with a man on a first date. What I'm saying is it lowers the probability of you being a successful couple, because the guy is probably going to think that you've slept with other people on the first date. And I will also add that the more partners, sexual partners a woman has, the less likely she's able to bond chemically with their potential mate in the future. This also affects men, but to a vastly lesser degree. So how do I retain a good man? Talk to a guy. How do you feel? Does he seem honest? Does he seem independent? Is he courteous? And what other criteria that you have for a man? So just simply make a date for whatever activity that you guys like. It could be a meal, a walk, cinema, car racing, or whatever you want. Well, there's a lot of pushback about men paying for the first date these days, with all this equality and feminism going around. They say that women should pay for half and men should pay for half. In my opinion, this is wrong. I believe that a man should pay for the first date. It also sends out a quite confident signal out to the woman that he's able to provide for a relationship in the future. I advise guys here on my channel to pay for the first date, but the way you can get around this is not to take her out on a big, lavish, expensive date, like a really expensive restaurant, somewhere that you need to book, and it's so many £100 or dollars or whatever it is. Just go somewhere simple, like for a coffee date and a sandwich, somewhere where you can talk and get to know each other. That way, if it doesn't work out, then you're only paying for something that's going to be less than 100. But then if it does work out, then that's cool. That's an investment then, right? So go out with this guy, have a talk. Don't sleep with him on the first date. Offer to pay him half of whatever it'll be. And believe me, a true man is going to say no. He's going to thank you for the offer, and he's going to say no, he's going to pay for it because of the inbuilt programming that he has to provide and to protect and to secure. And the date with a nice cuddle and a kiss on the cheek. Maintain contact as well. I mean, believe it or not, men actually do like it when you send texts. We don't do things like, oh, she's wrote me 5 lines of text. Oh, she's too needy. Oh, she's texted me an hour after our date. She's too needy. This is not what men do. This is all what women do. And women have tried to put that on men and say men do this. Let me tell you right now from the horse's mouth, men like it when you text us. Okay? It doesn't have to be every hour. It doesn't even have to be every 2 hours. It can just be the occasional text. Yeah, I got home okay. General little chit chat throughout the day. Repeat this experience 2 or 3 times. How is the continuity? Do you find yourself bored? Do you find yourself excited? Do you find yourself looking forward to have these dates? But I will say again, the main thing that is going to make sure that your relationship is successful or not, the main thing, if you see someone who you like, is not to sleep with them on the first date. Number one, he will think that you're pretty easy and you've done this with other guys before, ergo losing a degree of respect for you. And number two, like I said earlier, the more sexual partners a woman has, the less likely she's able to bond chemically to a potential mate. And again, yes, it affects men, but women vastly more. Ladies and gentlemen, boys and girls, cats and dogs, are going to cut it right there. We've been on for quite some time now. Please like, subscribe and comment and keep sending in those questions. Remember, when you send in a question, put as much detail as you can so I can give you a more detailed response. Thank you very much for tuning in. Please, again, like, subscribe and comment. Thank you for tuning in to Drippin. This was question time. Thank you very much.